Welcome to EFFector from the Electronic Frontier Foundation. You're listening to an audio companion to our email newsletter, keeping you on the cutting edge of digital rights issues. I'm Christian Romero.
And I'm Hudson Hongo. Later, we'll be covering more of this week's top stories, as well as letting you know about all of the upcoming opportunities to connect with EFF. But first, we'll be talking to Matthew Goriglia, Senior Policy Analyst at EFF, about how Amazon Ring is cashing in on the rising tide of techno-authoritarianism. Welcome, Matthew. Thanks for making time to chat.
Of course.
So, at the most basic level, what are Amazon Ring doorbells and what do they do?
They are Wi-Fi enabled, app connected, smart surveillance doorbells that people put on their door. When it sees motion, when people ring it, it gives you a notification on your phone, and you can look through your screen and the camera and see who's at the door. It also records video depending on what your storage plan is, and they also make devices for in-house surveillance. So it's not just outdoor cameras, it's also often indoor cameras.
And what are some of the issues we've seen with these Ring doorbells and surveillance?
So the thing is, Ring used to be a very, very problematic company, and the problem is that it's becoming a real threat to civil liberties again. When Ring first launched, they had a very, very cozy relationship with police, which meant that police got for free a tool that would allow them to request footage from Ring users. So Ring, their customers, the paying customers, are the public who buy these cameras and put them on their door. And police were just getting a free tool that was able to let them easily access Ring's customers. So what that looked like in, say, 2018 was police would have a map and they would click and drag a square on a map around where they think a crime had committed, and every Ring user within that square would get an email to their inbox saying an officer was requesting footage from this time to this time. Will you click this button and send it to them? And this was made worse by these, police Ring partnerships where Rings had formal agreements with police departments. It was basically a mass tool of police surveillance, aided by the fact that if there was an emergency, there was a form that police could fill out that would get them footage without consent or a warrant if it was decreed somehow that it was to protect life. If there was an imminent threat of violence, that police could request Ring footage without users' consent and without a warrant. So these things really became a problematic tool of police surveillance, and after immense public pressure, they started to make a lot of reforms. This is in 2022, let's say, to about early 2023 or 4. They ended police partnerships. They ended so that police could no longer request footage directly from users via email. Police had to actually come knock on your door and ask for footage because Ring as a company would no longer facilitate those requests. They rolled out end-to-end encryption. So they made a lot of really necessary reforms. And the problem is now, in summer 2025, they are going back on those reforms and they are rolling out new ways that police can very easily request access to people's footage.
So what exactly was it that the company announced this month that rolls back those reforms?
The founding CEO is back at the helm of Ring. He was always the one who really pushed Ring's relationship with police. And what they have announced is that they are teaming up with Axon, the company that creates tasers, that makes surveillance drones, that make body-worn cameras for police officers. They also are increasingly in the AI market. Axon is going to make for Ring a third-party request tool so that police can once again request access directly from Ring users that Ring as a company will facilitate. Ring, the company you pay for your doorbell, is now going to be in the business of making sure you get requests directly from police. And what's worse is they are rolling out a tool that will allow police to request live access to your camera. So it's not just historic footage, it's you will get a request and police will be able to peer live through your home security devices.
Your personally owned doorbell now becomes a live feed for police when they request it.
Yes, facilitated by a third-party application.
Do we have any sense about why Ring is doing this now?
Well, that's a good question. It's certainly not safety, I wouldn't say. Crime is at, right now, violent crime is at historically low levels, are lowering from the kind of post COVID bump that allowed police to amass a tremendous amount of surveillance power. So it's not crime. And it's certainly not concerns about the safety of its users. Ring has gotten in trouble several times with the federal government. Ring has been sued by a lot of its users because it really did not take privacy and security of its devices and its users seriously. So it really is not probably for the safety of users. And what we think it is because there is this kind of free for all right now when it comes to tech companies making billions of dollars selling surveillance equipment both to the defense sector and to police. Because regulators are kind of asleep at the wheel at best, and they are encouraging mass surveillance at worst. And so we really think that Ring is trying to get in on this rising techno authoritarian power and money grab that a lot of other tech companies are going all in on.
How does this fit into larger trends related to privately owned devices being used for state surveillance?
Yeah, this has been a real concern for a while. Is that any device you put in your home that collects data can and probably will eventually be accessed by police when they are building evidence for some kind of criminal case. So, smart home appliances, things that regulate the temperature in your house, smart devices that track your heart rate when you're going on a jog. All of these things have at some point had police request data from them to build out criminal cases. And what's worse is that if that data is being stored by a company on a server, they might not even serve you with the warrant or request you with the data. They might go straight to the company, and the companies are under no obligation to tell you that they've received a request or a warrant for your information. So all of these home devices, including Ring cameras, become just an extension of the police evidence locker.
Thanks. I guess
Yeah.
not what you love to hear about. I do wonder what sort of steps can individuals take to try to resist this growing tide of surveillance.
Yeah, I mean, what you can do is take serious precaution when you're thinking about smart home appliances. Even Amazon Ring now has end-to-end encryption, which means that your footage sitting on Amazon's server would be inaccessible to anyone but you. Which means that if police want to get that footage, they have to come talk to you because you're the only one who can, give them the keys to unlock that footage. So think about what devices have end-to-end encryption. Even better, think about what devices have on-device or local storage. So things that aren't sitting on the servers of the company, but kind of connect via, I don't know, Bluetooth or Wi-Fi in your house to some kind of thumb drive or a hard drive plugged into a wall somewhere, or even a storage device plugged into the device itself. So I would say people should really kind of take precautions and do their research before they're going to put some kind of smart device in their home.
Okay. And now, just for fun, either what's your favorite science fiction movie or what's one you saw recently that you liked?
Oh, favorite science fiction movie. I mean, at this point, I feel like it would be totally cliche for me to say Minority Report. Um, because we're kind of living it at this point. But I will say I have seen for the first time, and don't laugh at me. I just saw for the first time E.T.
I,
And it's really it's touching.
I don't think I've seen it since I was like maybe 3 years old. So I have absolutely zero memories of the movie.
I think my problem was I watched Close Encounters of a Third Kind too young
Mm.
and was obsessed with it. And
Yeah,
so to me, going backwards and watching a Steven Spielberg movie about aliens and children felt like childish.
sure. I also saw like a variety of alien related media way too young. I remember
Yeah.
seeing like the original Alien when I was maybe like 5 or 6.
That's way too young to see.
Way too young. And definitely like a solid week, I'm like convinced that the alien is outside my bedroom, is coming for me.
Or already in your chest.
Yeah, well, there you go. I feel like that was a little bit beyond me at that point. I think,
Yeah.
Yeah. The external danger, the internal danger of the alien was not clear to me at that time. But I guess maybe I need to revisit E.T.
It's a little long, but I feel like it's not revolutionary for me to say E.T., considered one of the greatest films of all time, is like an enjoyable watch.
Well, it in a way, it is news to me.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for taking the time to talk, Matthew.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Christian, what are some of this week's other top stories that subscribers can read about in EFFector?
We're kicking things off with a story from you, Hudson. It's about an illegal mass surveillance scheme by the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. They've been scanning customers' energy usage data and reporting so-called high usage to the police. This kind of search is, well, illegal, so we filed a brief in our lawsuit against the city of Sacramento asking the court to stop this practice for good. Next up, we're covering the Trump administration's ongoing push to monitor social media, this time by requiring student and exchange visa applicants to make their social media accounts public. We're breaking down why this is a serious threat to privacy and free expression, not just for non-citizens, but for everyone. We're also backing the Wikimedia Foundation in their challenge to the UK's Online Safety Act, which would undermine the privacy and safety of Wikipedia's volunteer contributors. And finally, we're calling out dating apps for using intimate data, like sexual preferences or identity, to train AI and algorithms without clearly telling users or getting real consent. We're pushing for stronger privacy protections and reminding these companies that consent is a fundamental right. Oh, and there's a new episode of our How to Fix the Internet podcast. This time we spoke with Helen Andromedon, a digital security trainer in East Africa, about how to make digital security less complicated, more relevant, and more joyful for users.
Great. And what opportunities to connect with EFF are coming up?
Well, we have an EFF member speakeasy in Washington, D.C. on July 31st, and one in New York City on August 15th while we're there for Hope. There's also a ton of chances to meet EFF at various talks and contests in Las Vegas during the Diana Initiative, B-Sides Las Vegas, Black Hat, and DEF CON 33 from August 4th through 10th. And of course, be sure to catch the EFF Awards live and in person in San Francisco on September 10th.
Thanks, Christian. So how many times now have you personally done the Vegas event circuit?
I think that this is going to be my 4th time. I think the first one was in 2022. Yeah.
4 summers. So like, what are your key travel tips, or like, how do you prepare?
So you're going for Vegas specifically, you're going there in August when I just checked the weather and it's like over 100 degrees every single day. You would think not to pack a hoodie, but you should totally pack a hoodie because the conference centers are freezing.
Aggressive air conditioning.
Yeah, the air conditioning is crazy, but then the outside will melt your face off. But just have some layers and drink a lot of water, more water than you think is humanly possible.
Do you have like an enormous like gallon jug? What do you bring around?
No, I like to pack light, so I instead have a small water bottle, and then I force myself to refill it all the time, which is a pain, but I like hate carrying around a big bag. So
it's all a trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all a trade-off. But if you are in Vegas for these conferences, please come and say hi. And I assume I'll be seeing a lot of black hoodies. I will be wearing mine.
Well, great. That's it for this week's EFFector Audio Companion. Thanks everyone for listening in.